Let me just say something that might shock you. Everything you've been taught about attraction is backwards. Society has trained men to chase, to prove themselves, to beg for attention and validation. You've been conditioned to think that if you just do enough, say the right things, she'll finally see your worth. But here's what nobody tells you. The moment you start doing that, something fundamental shifts in the dynamic, and not in your favor. Most men are living their entire dating lives upside down. They're doing the exact opposite of what actually creates attraction. And the worst part, they don't even realize the damage until it's already done. Modern men have been completely disarmed by media, by ideology, by a culture that's taught you to operate from a position you should never be in. You've been positioned as something you're not. Here's what I'm going to reveal. 5 critical principles that flip everything you think you know about power in relationships. By the end, you'll understand why the approach you've been using has been working against you, and what you need to do instead to completely change the dynamic. Let me be clear what I mean by this. This isn't about disrespecting women or playing games. This is about understanding the psychology of attraction and stopping the self-sabotaging behaviors that modern culture has programmed into you. You've been taught to be overly accommodating, to chase harder when she pulls back, to prove your worth through constant effort. That's not masculinity. That's servitude. And on a deep, subconscious level, women don't respond to servitude. They respond to strength, boundaries, and self-respect. The reality is, most men today have been completely disarmed. Media, social conditioning, the entire culture tells you to be softer, more available, more eager to please. But here's what happens when you follow that advice and the power balance shifts in the wrong direction. When you position yourself as the one who needs her more, when you're always available, always chasing, always seeking her validation, you fundamentally alter how she sees you. You become predictable. You become safe in the worst way, not safe as in trustworthy, but safe as in low risk, low value, easy to have. And here's the brutal reality. What's easy to have isn't valued. This isn't opinion. It's basic psychology. Scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it. When you're always there, always responsive, always ready to drop everything for her, you signal abundance. You signal that she's your only option, your main focus, your entire world. And that kills attraction faster than almost anything else. Most men think they're showing love and commitment by being overly available. They think constant communication and immediate responses prove their interest. But from a woman's perspective, that behavior reads as neediness. It reads as desperation. It reads as someone who doesn't have options, doesn't have purpose, doesn't have a life beyond her. And once she sees you that way, the power dynamic is set. She has the control. She decides when to respond, when to meet up, how much effort to give. You're left waiting, analyzing every text, wondering why she's pulling back. You've handed her all the power by showing you need her validation more than she needs yours. But here's the good news. There are 5 critical principles that flip this dynamic completely. These aren't tricks or manipulation tactics. They're fundamental shifts in how you show up, how you protect your value, and how you position yourself in any relationship. Principle number 1. Stop chasing. Start choosing. Here's the fundamental difference. When you chase, you're hoping to be picked. You're positioning yourself as someone who wants her to choose you, who's trying to earn her approval, who's proving your worth. That's a powerless position from the start. Every text you send first, every plan you initiate, every explanation you offer, it all signals that you're the one pursuing, the one with something to prove. Choosing is completely different. Choosing means you're evaluating. You're not hoping she picks you, you're deciding if she meets your standards. You're not trying to impress her, you're observing whether she impresses you. That's masculine energy. That's grounded confidence. That's the frame every high-value man operates from. And here's what actually happens. The man who seems least interested gets the most attention. Not because women want what they can't have, though that's part of it, but because a man who isn't chasing signals that he has options, he has abundance. He has a life, purpose, and standards that she needs to meet. And women are deeply attracted to that. So practically, what does this look like? Stop being the one who always texts first. Stop initiating plans every single time. Stop over-explaining yourself or defending your decisions. Stop being so eager to respond immediately. All of that is chasing behavior. It shows you're more invested than she is. Instead, match her energy. If she's taking hours to respond, you do the same. If she's being distant, you give space. If she's not initiating, you don't fill that void. You become the man who evaluates whether her effort matches yours, not the man who's grateful for whatever attention he gets. This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about respecting yourself enough to not chase someone who isn't chasing you back. It's about understanding that attraction isn't built on desperation. It's built on mutual pursuit. And when you stop chasing and start choosing, you force her to step up or step out. Either way, you win. But choosing means nothing if you give away your most valuable resource. That brings us to principle number 2. Your time is your power. Time isn't just time. It's a form of respect and scarcity. When you're always available, when you drop everything the moment she wants to see you, when you cancel your plans to accommodate hers, you're signaling that your time isn't valuable. And if your time isn't valuable, you aren't valuable. Being too available absolutely kills attraction. It removes mystery, eliminates scarcity, and shows that you have nothing else going on. Women are attracted to men who have full lives, men whose time is in demand, men who have commitments, routines, purposes beyond the relationship. When you're always free, always ready, always waiting for her call, you communicate the opposite. Here's the principle. A man with boundaries shows he values himself. When you protect your time, she respects your time. When you have a gym session scheduled and she wants to hang out, you say, "I can meet you after." When you're with friends and she texts, you respond when convenient. Not immediately. When you have work or personal projects, they don't get abandoned because she's suddenly available. This isn't about being unavailable or playing hard to get. It's about having genuine priorities and not rearranging your entire life around her schedule. It's about maintaining your routines, your commitments, your life structure regardless of what's happening with her. Because when you do that, you send a clear message. I have value, my time has value, and you need to earn access to it. Practically. Don't drop your gym routine because she wants to hang out. Don't cancel plans with friends. Don't stay up until 2 a.m. texting if you have work the next day. Don't rearrange your week to accommodate her last-minute plans. Keep your commitments. Maintain your schedule. Respond when you're free, not the second she messages. What happens when you do this? She starts to value your time more. She plans ahead. She makes effort to fit into your schedule instead of expecting you to fit into hers. And on a deeper level, she starts to see you as a man with purpose, with direction, with a life worth being part of, not someone whose whole world revolves around her. Time boundaries only work if you're building something worth protecting. That's principle number 3. Build yourself, not just the relationship. This is where a lot of men go wrong. They meet someone they're interested in, and suddenly the relationship becomes their entire mission. The gym routine stops. The career ambitions take a back seat. Personal goals get put on hold. Everything revolves around her. Texting her, seeing her, thinking about her, planning around her. And while they think this shows commitment, it actually destroys attraction. Here's what women actually want. They want to join a man who's already going somewhere, not a man who's waiting for her to give his life meaning, not a man whose entire world centers around whether she texts back. They want a man with purpose, with direction, with goals that exist independently of the relationship. Because when a man abandons his mission for a woman, he signals that he had no real mission to begin with. And here's the brutal truth. When you make her your entire focus, when you stop building yourself because you're so consumed with building the relationship, you become less attractive. You become the guy who needs her for fulfillment. You become boring because you have nothing to talk about except her, nothing to show except your availability, nothing to offer except your attention. And that gets old fast. So what should you be building? Fitness. Maintain your training, your health, your physical standard, finances. Work on your career, your business, your earning potential. Skills. Develop your expertise, learn new things, become better at what you do. Purpose. Pursue goals that matter to you regardless of who's in your life. These things make you more valuable, more interesting, more attractive. They give you confidence that doesn't depend on her validation. A woman respects a man who's building something. She respects ambition. She respects dedication to improvement. She respects a man whose life would be full and meaningful even without her, because that means she's adding to something already valuable, not trying to fill a void. The relationship should enhance your life, not become your life. When you keep building yourself, when you maintain focus on your goals and growth, you stay attractive, you stay interesting, you stay valuable, and you create a dynamic where she wants to be part of your world because that world is worth being part of. And while you're building yourself, this next principle protects everything you've created. Principle number 4. Master your emotions. Don't be ruled by them. Emotional control is masculine strength. This doesn't mean you suppress everything or become a robot. It means you're not reactive. It means your emotions don't control your behavior. Because here's the reality. If your emotions control you, she can control you. Women need emotional stability from their man. They need to know that when things get difficult, when conflict arises, when uncertainty hits, you're not going to spiral. They need a man who can stay grounded when she's emotional, who can maintain composure when she's testing, who doesn't panic when she pulls back. That's what creates safety. That's what creates trust. That's what makes her feel like she can rely on you. But most modern men have become too emotional. They seek constant reassurance. They panic when she takes a few hours to text back. They spiral when she seems distant. They need her validation to feel okay. And that's not strength. That's neediness disguised as sensitivity. Being authentic doesn't mean being reckless with your emotions. It means being in control of them. So what does mastering your emotions look like? It means when she's upset, you don't immediately react defensively. You pause. You listen. You stay calm. It means when she tests you, and she will test you, you don't take the bait. You don't get triggered. You don't start explaining yourself frantically. It means when she pulls back, you don't chase harder out of insecurity. You give space. You maintain your frame. Here's how you build this. Stop seeking her validation for your emotional state. Stop needing her to reassure you. Build yourself up, mentally, emotionally, physically, so that you're not dependent on her mood or her attention to feel okay. Work on yourself enough that you have genuine confidence that doesn't collapse the moment she seems disinterested. Master your emotions by creating a foundation that can't be shaken by her behavior. When you have emotional control, You become the stable force in the relationship. You become the man she can lean on. You become attractive not just physically but psychologically, because you offer something most men can't. Real strength, real stability, real leadership. Now here's where most men fail, even when they do everything else right. Principle number 5. Understand that she tests you to find a leader. This is critical. Women test men instinctually. It's not conscious. It's not malicious. It's a biological and psychological mechanism to determine whether you can lead yourself and, by extension, whether you can lead in the relationship. She's testing to see if you'll crumble under pressure, if you'll change your behavior to please her, if you'll abandon your frame the moment she pushes back. She needs to know you won't fold. She needs to know you're solid. Because if you can't handle her tests, how will you handle real challenges? If your confidence collapses the moment she seems upset or distant, how can she trust you to stay strong when life gets difficult? The tests aren't rejection, they are verification. She's verifying that you're actually the man you present yourself to be. When you become reactive to her tests, you fail. When you panic chase after she pulls back, you fail. When you immediately start explaining yourself or seeking reassurance, you fail. Because all of that shows you're not grounded in yourself. It shows you need her approval to feel okay. And that's the opposite of leadership. So what does passing the test look like? It looks like staying calm when she's emotional. It looks like holding your boundaries when she pushes them. It looks like not chasing when she creates distance. It looks like maintaining your standards instead of lowering them to keep her around. It looks like being unmoved by her mood swings, her tests, her attempts to see if you'll crack. Common tests. What are we asked way too early? Sudden distance or withdrawal after closeness. Creating conflict to see how you handle it. Canceling plans to see if you'll panic. Being cold or distant to test if you'll chase. Challenging your decisions to see if you'll fold. All of these are opportunities to demonstrate strength or expose weakness. How to pass. Stay calm. Hold your frame. Don't react emotionally. Maintain your standards. Give space when she pulls back. Don't chase validation. Don't over-explain. Just stay solid. And here's what happens. Once she feels your leadership, once she realizes you can't be shaken, the testing stops and the trust begins. Because she's found what she was looking for, a man who can actually lead. So now that you understand all 5 principles, here's the truth. Nobody wants to hear. You are only the prize when you've actually built yourself up. Let me be blunt. You don't get to claim you're the prize just because you're a man. You don't deserve respect and pursuit just by existing. That's entitlement, not value. The brutal reality. If you're not actively building yourself, your fitness, finances, purpose, emotional control, then you have no leverage. You're just another guy claiming high value while living low value. She needs you more than you need her. Only if you're actually someone worth needing. If you're avoiding the gym, stuck in a dead-end job, emotionally reactive, chasing her validation, then no, she doesn't need you more. You need her validation because you have nothing else. That's the harsh truth. This is about understanding that power comes from actual value, not declared value. You become the prize by being the man who has options, purpose, standards, a life worth joining. Not by demanding respect you haven't earned. Stop acting like she's lucky to have you if you haven't done the work. Build your body. Build your career. Build your emotional strength. Build a life you're proud of. One that's full with or without her. That's when you become the prize. That's when she needs you more. Because you've created something valuable, and she wants to be part of it. The man who does this naturally attracts. He doesn't chase, seek validation, or panic when she pulls back. And that's the man women pursue, respect, and don't want to lose. So here's what I want from you. Where are you on this journey? Have you been the guy who's chasing, who's too available, who's making her the center of your world? Or have you already started applying these principles? Drop a comment and let me know which of these 5 principles resonates most with you, or share your experience with how changing your approach changed the dynamic. I read every single comment. This isn't just content. This is about building men who lead instead of follow, who choose instead of chase, who create value instead of seeking validation. If that's the kind of man you want to become, you're in the right place. And I want to hear from you, because here's the bigger picture. This is about more than just one relationship or one woman. This is about stepping into your full potential as a man. It's about understanding your value, protecting your power, and refusing to live like you need someone else's approval to feel worthy. That's the shift. That's the transformation. Stop living like she's the center of your world. Build yourself into someone whose world is worth being part of. And when you move through life with power, with purpose, with peace, you won't need to chase. You'll attract naturally. You'll be chosen by women who recognize value. And you'll finally understand what it means when I say, she needs you more than you need her. Now go build that life.